Let me tell you about a person who decided to take ownership of their life by taking ownership of their financial future. Let me tell you about a person who learned a handful of lessons, and from this they were able to build a system and a portfolio that allowed them to achieve their goal of financial freedom. This means no longer having to work, but choosing to do what they wanted on their own terms. This person could be any of us today, and I hope is you. I believe you will experience hope, motivation, and strategy if you stay with me and listen to some of the ideas I want to share with you and the world. I bring you messages from many others before me, but together they can produce something very powerful and hopefully change your perspective. Are you ready? Our world today is going through one of the biggest shifts in its history, and globally the middle class of consumers are growing faster than many of us imagine. Every second that passes, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, it means 5 people, 5 people, 5 people, somewhere in this great world, have just joined the middle class. The mobile revolution of the world is still growing faster than we know. 10 years ago, we in the West got the iPhone. 20 years ago, cell phones cost thousands of dollars, yet today we take them for granted. However, just in 2017, 1.7 billion people became cell users for the very first time. Imagine how it changed your life. Now imagine how it will change theirs. The population sizes and wealth growth in Asia is beyond staggering, but businesses are equipped for this growth. In China alone, Starbucks are opening a new store every 15 hours. I can only imagine what all companies, domestic and foreign, are doing in China and India. For the next billion middle-class global consumers, 87% will come from the Asian continent. India's population gets large amounts of press today based on its size, but many don't know that 50% of its population are actually under the age of 25 years old. Half the country are millennials and Generation Z looking to change their country and the world. Emerging markets are growing quickly. They will become more important to the world economy over the next 5 to 10 years, more than we can currently imagine. Can you imagine 84% of the world's population live in the emerging markets today? This means 6 billion new potential customers and consumers with wants, needs, and desires coming to fruition. These emerging markets will consume and produce, and by 2025 will eclipse the West in terms of their vast size and needs. So you might be asking, what does this have to do with investing? Well, I believe we should be looking at our world through the lens of opportunity, abundance, and growth. We should be thinking about our bright future, new people, new desires, new products and technologies. We should be thinking about how awesome it will be to provide products and services to all of these new customers. This is our amazing world. We have Canada here with its strong financial system, amazing natural resource companies and energy companies. We have a growing population and ever-expanding cities. We have the USA with arguably the biggest companies and brands in the world coming from here, plus a population of 300 million. They are still the #1 most important economy in the world. We have elegant Europe with so many great consumer good companies, technology companies, pharmaceutical companies, and car manufacturing companies. We know Asia is exploding in growth, from housing to roads to food needs and requirements, not to mention all of their new innovation, brand new innovative new technologies and amazing new medical ideas. We must not forget Africa. African cities are expanding faster than you can imagine, with some projections stating in 50 years the top 5 cities in the world in terms of population will be in Africa. We see development and investing all over Africa today, from China, Russia, USA, and European countries. Lastly, we have South America. With their extensive manufacturing operations, rich natural resources, rapidly growing modern city, and their historical rich cultures. So why are people investing like these places are going to disappear? I call these the Big Four. The 4 reasons why people park funds in savings accounts, CDs, or GICs, or even treasury bills or bonds, or perhaps even under their mattress. People are unsure where to turn, unsure what to do, and concerned of making mistakes. These 4 are crippling for most people, and I understand. But we must start to think of bright versus dark. We must start to think logically and ask a different question, which is not focused on fear. Using what we have spoken about, I hope people have one question bursting to come out. How do I, yes me, participate in this global growth you spoke about with all of this opportunity and abundance? Well, let's answer the question. We must invest our money globally. And unless you plan on heading on a round the world tour, the most efficient way is to invest in stocks of globally established companies. Yes, scary stocks and stock markets are actually just businesses, and you simply need to invest in the world's best businesses in order to participate in this growth. Okay, well, it can't be that simple, you say. Stocks might be businesses, but why must we invest in the stock market? What happens when stock markets crash? Should we try and time the market, as I've heard it's really risky and some people say the stock market's high right now? Well, absolutely. Let's tackle each of those. But I will be asking for some help from the Oracle of Omaha and arguably the greatest investor of our time, Mr. Warren Buffett. For those who don't know Warren Buffett, he is one of the world's richest men, and he founded Berkshire Hathaway, a well-known investment company. The reason we build our net worth is to eventually be free to do what we want. We cannot work forever, so we need to find a way to make money in our sleep. The stock market is the greatest global system that allows us all to make money in our sleep. In addition, as Warren says here, it is a great device for transferring wealth from the impatient short-term traders to the long-term patient investors. I want us to be long-term patient investors and thus be rewarded for our patience. So it seems to make sense, but what happens when market crash? They always cause such panic and upset, and people lose money. Well, let's chat about that for a second. Stock markets dip, crash or correct almost every single year. However, after every crash, the market not only comes back to where it was, eventually it ends up higher than before and continues to grow forward until the next shock or panic. The market itself has never taken a dime from anybody. Only selling your businesses, stocks, investments realizes your losses. The question should be, why does every part of me want to sell my amazing businesses when the market drops? The key to sales, just like Black Friday or Boxing Day, is to go shopping like you do at the mall or online. Crashes should be celebrated as it allows to buy all of your favorite businesses on sale. As we say here, the key is to feed your money machine to allow it to keep working for you while you sleep. So if the markets crash and things go on sale, should we try and time the market? Frankly, this is an amazing question. When things crash, people are usually paralyzed with fear when the crash has come, and they end up doing absolutely nothing. The difficulty is knowing when the crash or sale is coming, and this means usually people miss out on all opportunities because nobody, not even our friend Mr. Warren Buffett, knows when any of this is coming. One thing for sure is true, that I can guarantee Warren is always ready to go shopping on the dips, yet he is always in the market to take full advantage of all of the ups. So let me show you why he's trying to take advantage of all of the ups, but not trying to avoid the downs. JPMorgan Chase and Charles Schwab did a 20-year study looking at the stock market in the US from 1996 to 2016. The US market is called the S&P 500, which is basically the largest 500 companies in the USA. The average annual return came in at an annualized 8%, which means investors would double their money every 9 years. Pretty good, I'd say. However, in order to get this 8% average annualized return, the investor needed to be in the market 365 days of the year, every year, for the full 20 years. Well, if the investor decided to be out of the market for a while, trying to time the market, and they ended up missing the 10 best days, yes, 10 days in 20 years, their returns dropped from that annualized 8% to an annualized average of just 4%, literally cut in half. This is incredible, right? If they ended up missing the best 20 days, yes, 20 days out of 20 years, their return was actually down to just 1.57%. Yes, missing the 20 best days out of 20 years, your return on investment is now that of current day savings account rates. Pretty abysmal. Now imagine you missed the best 30 days in those 20 years. Well, now we're losing money. Because nobody knows when we will have those best days in the market, you need to be in the market in order to catch the best. Nobody can predict a day when the market vaults higher on great news. Nobody can predict economic improvement news, unexpected job report news, and thus if you're not in on that day, it will be missed forever and the returns will be severely sacrificed due to trying to time the market. So, timing the market is not something we should try. As many people say, it's time, not timing. Get in the market and ride the good and the bad days, and you will be rewarded if you stay true to your course. Okay, so where are we? The future growth is going to be staggering, with such a bright future ahead, with so much demand and opportunity on the horizon. For us to partake in this, we should be investing in global businesses, and the easy way to do that is buying their stocks. We also learned that we should be in the market to make us money while we sleep, and to stay in that market regardless what is happening out there, good or bad. Okay, so now the big question. What exactly should we be investing in? I hope you look carefully at these images and reflect on yourselves. Who here has a smartphone in their pocket? A pair of brand new sneakers on their feet? But how many of you own stock in Apple or Nike? How many of you brushed your teeth this morning with Crest Complete? But how many of you own Procter & Gamble stock? Did you need to fill your car today at your local Shell or Esso? Own their stock? No? Who had a Starbucks to start their day? A $3, $6 coffee? But did you invest in Starbucks stock? Who pays their mortgage every month to their bank? But then why aren't you investing in your bank's stock? I want you to think about this premise. We all need to stop being just consumers and become owners. We need to own the best businesses in the world that we use every day and the rest of the world will be using also. We need to become proud owners, knowing we are part of these companies, and we don't just give their money to them every single month, but we make the businesses give us their money. Yes, we do not give them our money, they give us their money. buy great businesses. Think globally. Once again, our friend Warren sums it up perfectly. He tries to buy businesses so wonderful that an idiot can run them, because sooner or later, one is going to. He also says we should be looking at businesses we like and would be happy to be with for the next 10 years, regardless of what happens in the markets. I definitely believe this philosophy myself. Long-term investing in the best businesses in the world will yield you your desires. But my favourite kind of businesses share their profits with you every month or every quarter. So what is a dividend? A dividend is the share of a company's profit. Their company itself is going to be paying out a share of its profits to you every quarter to thank you for being an investor in their businesses. This sounds pretty great if you ask me. I like to think of it this way. Every single dollar that you invest in a dividend-paying company, stock, business is like a teeny tiny employee. They go to work for you in the best businesses in the world and bring home a teeny tiny paycheck just for you. However, over time, as businesses make more profits, your teeny tiny employee starts to bring home a bigger and bigger paycheck just for you. Just like all of our careers, their paycheck grows and provides you that income that you need to feed your dreams and your eventual future freedom. This is why I love dividends. They are money machines. They empower you as an owner and you get to share the profits. But the biggest reason I love them is they pay you to wait. When markets are crashing or correcting, the dividends just keep on flowing. This fact alone should encourage you to feed the money machine even more when prices fall, because you see your dividends coming in and your favorite business is on sale, and it really is a great motivator to feed your money machine. The Rule of 72 is a very simple yet powerful tool we should all learn, as it simply is eye-opening how something as small as a percentage can make a really big difference. It might be that red pill moment for you as you see the power of compound interest. As Einstein said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. For those who understand it will earn it. For those who don't understand it will pay it. Let that sit for a second. Those who understand it, earn it. Those who don't, pay it. I know which I would like to be. It's quite staggering to think money invested at 1% in a savings account will take 72 years to double. That's right, 72 years to double your money. The rule of 72 is simply that. You take your rate of return and divide 72 by that number, and poof, you have the number of years it's going to take to double your money. A 2% GIC, CD, bond is going to take you 36 years to double your money. And the average stock return of 8% is going to take just 9 years to double your money. This knowledge should inspire you to think carefully about investing your funds. Look at your savings pile today, and I bet if you double it, it would be great. And then if you double that again, then we're talking about some serious money. Thing is, do you have 144 years to wait for a double-double in a savings account? No? Then why are we using savings accounts to invest money? Use the rule of 72 wisely and think about it with every single decision you make when you're deploying your hard-earned dollars. So, we have come a long way on this journey, but we are really only 50% of the way there. Investing in great businesses, holding on through thick and thin, hunting for dividends and making sure you double your money often will be powerful. But in order to build this machine, you need to feed it. You and your savings rate will be the biggest influence on whether you retire in 20 years or 60 years. If you don't save and invest every month, it doesn't matter what you invest in, you will never make it to your goal. So, let's talk about you. I want you to remember to always pay yourself first, as in my opinion, you are your most important bill. No cell phone bill, no car payment or mortgage should be ahead of your future or your freedom and thus yourself. If you don't invest in yourself, nobody else is going to. Let that sit for a second. If you don't invest in yourself, your future and your freedom, nobody will. You must start to think and structure your cash flow to spend what is left after saving, and you need to pick a savings rate that aligns with your goals. The more you want this dream of being free to do whatever you want, this dream to retire, is really up to you. The higher your rate of saving, the faster it's going to come. Let's look at some numbers here. If you save 40% of your current income at an 8% return of investment, you're going to be retired in 18 years from today. 18 years. 40% of your income invested at an 8% return, you can retire in 18 years from today. If you can only save 30% of your income, 8% return, you're going to be retired in 23 years from today. We drop your saving rate down to 20%. It's going to take you 29 years from today till you retire. And if we follow the textbook classic given rate that most financial advisors are giving out to all their customers of saying, we just need to save 10% of your income, that means you're going to be retired in 38.5 years from today until your freedom. The amount that you save is totally up to you, but I really hope that these are some powerful ideas. So dream big, invest in yourself, and take control of building your plan. I help people achieve their dreams by showing them that they are the solution. Overcome fear. Believe in the market. You need to stop consuming and start owning. Then use the power of compound interest. Feed your money machine and it will feed you 10 times, maybe 100 times over. Dream big.